Semenyo is a gunner. Are we a stepping stone? No, we're not. Now look, like I've said, players have clubs that they support, but it doesn't mean anything when it comes to their careers. You know, you've got to do what's best for your career in any given moment. And Semenyo, I don't know if he is on Arsenal's radar or not. I don't know if they need wide forwards or not. Spurs are in the mix. United are in the mix. I think Arsenal are somewhat in the mix, but I think for him and any player, it will come down to what the best move is for his career at that moment in time. Um, so I wouldn't see us as a stepping stone though. No, like we're a bigger club than Arsenal. So Liverpool will never be a stepping stone to get to Arsenal, in my opinion, because Arsenal will never be anywhere near as big a club as Liverpool. And I don't mean that derogatory. It's a fact. Like it just is a fact. Arsenal are a very good club, a storied club, but they're not on the same ballpark as Liverpool. Right now, they're in a great moment as well with Arteta doing well there. But, you know, 6 European Cups, you know, it speaks for itself about who's the bigger club. 220 million in January. Who you spend, who you buying? Really, it's your nose today. Sorry. Does that mean I'm going to have a fight with somebody? Or either that or my nostril hairs are growing back. One or the other. 220 million. Who am I buying? I wouldn't be spending it in January. In all honesty, I wouldn't, because we're already seeing that we're struggling to knit together the players who've come in. I don't want to throw more players at it. So one centre back in January for me is all I'm hoping for and expecting. And after that, I think the manager has enough for this season to do what he needs to do. Then maybe add in one or two more in the summer and build out the squad a little bit. But right now, you know, as we've all seen, we're struggling to knit together the new players anyway. So, you know, adding more into the mix in January just wouldn't seem clever to me outside of a centre back, which we absolutely need. Semenyo being a gunner, it doesn't mean anything. Eze was ready to go to Spurs. Arsenal, for some reason, woke up to the fact he's an Arsenal fan just about in time. Carragher was an Evertonian. I don't know if Maka was an Evertonian, but I think he may have been. And look, there are players who play for clubs that support other clubs. It happens all the time. Like I said, I think when it's the career, if in an ideal world you got a chance to go play for the club you supported, cool. But, you know, the stars have to align as well, and I just think there's a better chance he ends up at Liverpool, personally. Alejandro said, I don't want us to spend a fortune on Semenyo. If we were to pull the trigger, he isn't worth more than 45, 50. I think he is. Realistically, mate, I think he is. I would say to buy Semenyo, you're probably talking the 60 to 70 million bracket, personally. But, you know, whether that's good value or not, I guess will be down to two things: the club, what they value him at, and how well he does if he does come in. Semenyo was great but overhyped, and frankly not a Liverpool type signing. Well, it seems like the interest is sincere on Semenyo. Fabrizio Romano has said they, Liverpool, are following Antoine Semenyo's progress closely, that's for sure. So, you know, I think there was a conversation in the summer about whether we'd make that move or not, and ultimately they felt they didn't want to block the pathway for Rio. But that argument's wearing a bit thin with me now, because, you know, Rio's not getting game time. So, you know, we blocked the pathway for somebody who obviously isn't ready, and that's okay, because I think most people would say he's probably not ready at that age, week in, week out. But have we left ourselves short as well in the meantime? I think yes, is the honest answer. Worry about Semenyo being inconsistent, doesn't show up week in and week out. It's a tough conversation to have, that one, Jennifer, because, you know, I find these the most difficult ones to spot, whether they'll work at Liverpool or not. You've got a player who is the guy at their club, but their club is a level below. And, you know, I think that's fair to say about Bournemouth. So I struggle to know whether, you know, he is a big fish in a small pond, or whether he'd be able to step up to the likes of Liverpool. We've seen him play against us and be able to do it. And I would agree, in the sense, I don't think he's prolific, you know, with his goal tallies. But it would give us another dimension to our attack that I don't really think we have now, which is that direct running pace and power that I think we're missing from the front line. And for what it's worth as well, I would absolutely be happy. He wouldn't be my top. Elise would be my number one target. I've always said that. But I would be more than happy with Semenyo coming in. Yeah, I would. But why Semenyo is even close to world class? Why Semenyo? Well, a few reasons. One, Premier League proven. Two, relationships there with Richard Hughes. And 3, we need somebody in that position. But is he world class? Well, the argument I put back to you is give me a list of world class wingers that you think are attainable right now. Because honestly, I think there's slim pickings out there. If we're talking about who's actually attainable, because Elise isn't attainable right now. Nico Williams, I mean, I think people would still be divided over him. So that's where I'd be struggling with, who was out there for Liverpool. If it's not Semenyo, who else? Minta is a conversation, of course, but we'd sit here and I don't think anybody be calling Minta world class yet, because he isn't. He's not there. Rodrigo. Well, I like Rodrigo. I do. But he may be attainable. I'll give you that one. Elise is not attainable, Jason. They're not going to sell him, so we're wasting our time talking about him at the moment. Rodrigo is a very interesting conversation, but I don't get the feeling he wants to leave Madrid. Now, he may have to if his minutes keep being limited, but the question I always ask when we talk about Madrid is, tell me the last time we bought a player from Real Madrid. We don't really do business. And if you're talking about the wages he'd want to come in on as well, I just don't think it stacks up as a Liverpool type of transfer. Big transfer fee, big wages. I just think Liverpool would probably look at that and think he's at his peak value now and probably too big of a wage. Semenyo coming in, and I don't know what he gets paid at Bournemouth with his new contract, but I'd be amazed if it's much more than 100 grand a week, if it's that. So you could easily get him in and it be within a structure that would be reasonable. Do I like Nico Williams? I very much do, Leo, yes. I very much do like Nico Williams. Again, the problem you have there is Bilbao pay their players a good salary because they don't have to pay transfer fees. So you're talking about Nico Williams, who I think's on like 250, 300,000 euro a week already at Athletic Club. Because, like I said, they don't pay transfer fees because they're bringing in players from that one particular region. So they tend to try to keep those players by paying them very competitive wages. We should go for Yamal. There's absolutely no chance on this planet that Lamine Yamal, one, he wouldn't suit Liverpool because he does, how do I say this politely? He's an incredible footballer and it's a joy to watch him. But he's fond of the glamorous side of life. And I just don't think culturally that would work over in the Premier League. So not just at Liverpool. So yes, that and the absolutely astonishing fee it would take. It's never happening. I don't think you'll ever see Lamine Yamal leave Barcelona until maybe mid-30s if he wants to try something else at that point. I think he's going to be there and he's going to be the next generation of Messi-type superstar at Barcelona.